Coming up, is there infighting within the Ministry for Disaster Preparedness and Reconstruction? Also, a youth leader concerned with the level of crime among the youth. And students of the 8 Mile Rock High School receiving a special treat thanks to the Swingers Junkanoo Group. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all. I'm Shashina Wolf-Farkas, and as always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Minister of State for Disaster Preparedness and Reconstruction shooting down claims that there is infighting within the new ministry. Tonight, he says as the minister responsible, he is satisfied that all parties within the new ministry are working together for the benefit of the Bahamian people.
There are some kinks that we have to iron out. But in terms of the infighting, no, I'm not going to feed that monster.
The Minister of State for the Disaster Preparedness and Reconstruction, Hiram Lewis, says he is paying no attention to rumors that suggest that there is infighting in his ministry. Lewis is responsible for 2 agencies, the National Emergency Management Agency, where Captain Stephen Russell is the director, as well as the Department of Reconstruction Authority, where former Senate President K. Forbes Smith is now the managing director. Just recently, social media reports went viral suggesting that there are problems between the minister and Forbes Smith.
As the minister, I have 2 agencies that I must work with, NEMA, preparation, and the Reconstruction Authority, reconstruction. At the moment, we are all working together as a unit. NEMA understands their role and responsibilities. The authority understands that there's some crossing over with respect to how do we transition from NEMA's responsibility into the authority's responsibility once we are going into recovery from a disaster.
Member of Parliament for Pine Ridge, Frederick McAlpine, also speaking publicly on a national talk show, adding that there were 2 heads in that ministry. But being very candid with our news team, Lewis says even if there was infighting, it will remain in-house.
So to be direct, no, I'm not concerned. I'm concerned that we have work to do. We need to be given time to do it and to do it properly. But as it stands now, I must be able to balance the act between the ministry, NEMA, and the authority, because the triangle, everything must work together in tandem.
He contends that what is most important is that they all work together for the benefit of the Bahamian people, and he says that is being done.
It's myself and 2 directors who must clearly understand their role, and it's a work in progress. In this instance, it's the first time that we've had this scenario, so it's learn as you go. But at the end of the day, once all of the kinks are ironed out, all of the paths are clearly defined, I have no issue believing that it will work out well. I'm satisfied with where we are now, and we are consistently doing our analysis, and in areas where we believe to be a falling back, we'll pick up. In areas where we believe that we are moving well, we'll continue that or even move faster.
Well, the 2020 hurricane season is 4 months away now, and this week the Disaster Consultative Committee held their first meeting to review the past season and to make changes for the way ahead. Representatives from all of the emergency support services presented a report on their hurricane-during experience with a view of strengthening plans for the upcoming season.
It is very important because what we've went through with Dorian, we realized that a lot of our disaster plans that we had in place, we have to now go and review those plans and to adjust and tweak those. So it is very important.
Not only going forward are we going to be looking at Grand Bahama, we also have to consider Abaco as well as Bimini, who is a part of the Northern Bahamas. And the meeting is going to be just that. It's going to be the starting point for us to build on, look at challenges, look at things that needs to be corrected, and make sure that we prepare as best as possible.
Well, Mitchell says the dialogue will cover all areas, adding that all hands must be on deck in the event of an emergency.
But right now, we have a number of persons who need to understand that, and unless we continue working together as a team, this is where we fall short. There's so many things happening in our communities from east to west that we now have to revisit. evacuation plans, shelters. We have to look at all of these things as a group and try to determine what is going to be the best fit for every community.
In other news, a prominent youth leader says he's concerned about crime trends on Grand Bahama. He says greater attention must be directed at the root cause, particularly among young men. Italia Hall reports. Youth leader of Reach Out Youth Ministries, Dudley Sade, says he is concerned about the recent murders that took place on Grand Bahama. He says he believes these crimes involving young men all center around an identity crisis.
Other guys, when they travel in groups. When they travel in their gang groups. And what you have in most of these murders is revenge killing, one. And a lot of people don't know how to deal with conflict. They do a lot of teasing, and I think that's what's mostly happening a lot. And that's why I try my best to try to stem it from the high school, because once they become adults, once they're in a gang affiliation, there ain't much more you can do.
He says when it comes to such matters, unforgiveness is a major factor.
If someone slap you, or push you, or say words, unless they don't say shoot you or stab you, you could walk away. And I think that's what this country is suffering from today. We don't know how to forgive. We always think that we have to get the next person.
Sade is of the view that the young men may be under some type of influence when they are involved in criminal activities.
It's a touchy subject. Most of the murders, most of the fights, most of the young men are high. They use drugs most of the time. Alcohol, not too much, but most of the times when you see someone pull a trigger, they're high on some substance, either cocaine or marijuana. And that's why I struggle, me here as a youth leader in this country, to see that possibly they might pass the law on marijuana, and I think that's going to do a greater effect.
And to those who may be going down the wrong path, he says it is important for you to know that your life has a purpose.
A lot of these young men in their mind, they think they're not going to live that long, and I just want to let them know, hey, God put you on this earth for a reason, and God put you on here to be a productive young person. So think before you act.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News. Still on the crime beat, the young man who was shot and killed at a popular shopping center in Caravel Beach this past weekend has been identified as 22-year-old Fritzon Kersaint of Drake Avenue. Reports say officers were responding to reports of gunshots being fired in the area of Polaris Drive near a business establishment. And when they arrived, they met Kersaint lying on the ground with apparent gunshot wounds about his body. His death is classified as Grand Bahama's third homicide for the year. Now, initial investigations revealed that there was an altercation involving a group of males in the area. ZNS News has learned that a suspect is being questioned in connection with this fatal shooting. Now to news from the court. 4 defendants in the trial involving former Urban Renewal Deputy Director Michelle Rackley had their bail conditions varied by the court today. Defendants Kylan Vincent, Stephanie Colley, James Hall, and Joseph Lightbourne will now be able to sign in just once a month at a police station in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Rackley is already signing in once a month. All of the accused are facing money laundering charges involving more than $1 million relating to the Urban Renewal Small Homes Repairs Program on Grand Bahama back in 2017. These are allegations that they deny. They returned to court on June 8th for trial. Stay with us. There's more news when we return.